Hello students, I am Safia, your science teacher. As I said already, we have completed the entire syllabus. Okay, some of the interactive classes we hadn't completed, but still we have completed the entire syllabus. So we thought that let us revise the syllabus, whatever we have completed. What you got. First video you got, that lesson we are going to revise. From here I will revise all the lessons once again. So it is a golden chance for you people to read and write all those things again and again. Okay, so listen carefully everything and write that and remember that. So in our surroundings we find different kinds of things, right? Like we can find poles, electric poles, trees, plants, buildings, human beings, animals, your pet animal, that is cat, dog, or any of the animal. Okay, so all these things. So the things which are present around us can be categorized into two different categories. So that categories are living and non-living. Living and non-living. Right? We can categorize it into two things. Living things and non-living things. So living things are, what are living things actually? Living things which can move. First of all, main characteristic I can say, they can breathe. Okay, we can take air in and we can live out air. That is what living thing. Living thing can breathe or respire, whereas non-living things cannot. How? Let me explain you by taking one simple example. For example, if I am, right? So you can categorize me, in which category you will take me? Either in living or non-living? Obviously in living, because I can respire. But whereas if you take this chalk holder or the chalk piece, do you think they can breathe or respire like us? No, they can't. So that means this chalk piece is a non-living things. In the same way, there are certain characteristics of living and non-living things which we'll be learning in the later on classes. But you remember which will respire are living things and which can reproduce, which can have their babies are also comes under living things. For example, like your mama, okay, your mama's baby are you, your parents' children. That means we can reproduce. Human beings are the example of living things. Things which can breathe, things which can grow, things which can reproduce, which can move from one place to another place are considered as living things. So there are these characteristics, some other characteristics are also given which we will be learning in the later on section. So non-living things cannot respire, they cannot breathe, they cannot reproduce, their babies, we can't see their babies, and they cannot grow. So those are non-living things. So when I said living things, here we can come to conclusion that there are three different kinds of things, living things. First are the human beings, we. Then animals. Animals can grow, they can respire like us. Okay, they can move from one place to another place, they can reproduce their babies, we can see their babies, so they are also living things. Other one are plants. See, plants will also breathe, they will grow. Obviously growth we can see, when you put a small baby plant, it is growing into a new plant. So plants can grow, they can respire also, and they can reproduce. Reproduce means from one plant, if you get the seeds, same seeds, if you are sowing in the soil, same plant can be seen. That means plants are able to reproduce. So plants are also living things. So today which we are going to learn is about plants. Okay, how now I said plants can respire, how they are able to respire, and everything we are going to learn in the lesson, plant parts and functions. Our lesson name is plant parts and functions. Different parts of the plant which are helpful in growth and all those things we are going to learn in the lesson, plant parts and functions. Already madam had explained you, once again we are recalling all those things. As there is a difference difference between us. Like some people are having good height, some have less height, some are fat, some are thin. In the same way, we can find difference in the plants also. Some plants are small, some are very big. The plants which are big are called as trees. Already you have learned about these plants, different types of plants in the lower sections. So first to think, let us draw a simple plant. Okay, I am going to take simple plant. So if you see, I am drawing a plant here, right? There are the different parts of a plant here. So let us label the parts of a plant. From where shall we start? We will start from here bottom. The parts which are under the soil are called as roots. The part of a plant which is under the soil are called as roots. Then these roots are underground, okay, and the upper part which is above the soil, these are called as shoot. These are called as shoot. So whatever these different parts are there, those all will be considered in the shoot. So roots have only root. This part of the plant has only roots. Above the soil, what the plants are present, those are different parts are present. Those are called as shoot. So in shoot, let us find out the parts. The main one which is going from here is the stem. Stem carries branches. It has different branches of leaves. Leaves are present here, right? So other part are leaves. See, L-E-A-V-E-L. This is the plural form. That means many. Leaf is a singular form. One is leaf and many are leaves. So here leaves, stem. Stem have branches which has leaves. And then you can find fruits also. If it is a grown plant, then we can find fruits. And as well as one more part of it is what here? Flower. Even birds, B-U-D-S, birds. These flower birds, B-U-D-S. B-I-R-D-S, birds are animal, these are buds, B-U-D-S, birds, okay. Before flower is growing into, you have seen a flower, right? So flower, before the flower is changing, blooming, we can find a small green color like this, okay, like a raindrop, like this a shape will be. This is called as bud. Okay, from bud we get the flower. So these are the different parts of a plant, shoot and roots. So roots are the part of a plant which are under the soil, and above the soil we have the parts. Those comes under, collectively they are shoots. And shoot have stem, leaves, branches, fruits, flowers, birds, etc. So these are the parts of a plant. How we have different parts, in the same way plant also have different parts, and our body as we have different parts, we will do different work. Like with the hands we will eat, we will write, we will be holding the things, we will be doing whatever we want with the hands. In the same way, what we do with our nose, we respire, we take in, breathe, we leave out air, okay. And what is the help of our mouth? We use teeth for tearing, chewing, grinding the food, tongue for tasting, swallowing, and as well as in speaking. That means our body have different parts have different work. In the same way as plant have different parts have different work. So that we are going to learn parts and functions. So we have learned about the important parts of a plant. Now the functions of the plant parts. Roots, where roots are present, they are present under the soil. So what is actually, have you ever seen a root? Have you ever seen a plant? Yeah, we have seen many times small rose plant, jasmine plant at your home in the garden you can observe. So have you ever tried to pull the plant? Have you ever tried to remove the plant from the soil, uproot the plant? Yeah, when you try, what will happen? You can't easily remove it because something will be present which will be fixing the plant at a place. That something are nothing but the roots. Roots will help the plant to fix at a place. So roots will help. So what is the function? What is the main function of the root here? That it will fix a plant at a place. So if roots are present, plant cannot fly, plant cannot move from one place to another place. First part which we are discussing are the roots. So what is the function of the root? First primary function which we have learnt is that that root fixes a plant at a place. So if you want to uproot the plant, you have to remove it from the roots. So roots will help the plant to fix at a place. And another one which is very important function is absorption of water. Water and minerals. Have you ever watered a plant? Yes, you have watered a plant many times, right? So you will observe where you will pour the water on the leaves. No, obviously you will pour in the soil. So why you pour in the soil? Because under the soil what are present? Roots are present. After some time, after pouring the water, you will observe that water will be absorbed by the plant. Complete area what you can't find the water, only wetness you can find. That is because root has absorbed the water. So when the roots are absorbing the water, along with water, in soil minerals are also present. So water and minerals are absorbed by the roots. So these are the two important functions of the root. That is what fixing plant at a place and then absorption of water. This we have discussed. Now you know that roots are of two types. First type of the roots are called as fibrous roots. In this type of roots, the size of the roots is similar. The size of all the roots is similar, and we can find lateral roots also. See here, all the roots they have similar size. That doesn't one of the root is not big and one is not small, but all the thickness of this is equal. And the other type of the root is this one, in which a middle root will be, which is thicker than the lateral roots. The roots which are present towards the side are called as lateral roots. So this system in which size of the roots is same, this system is called as fibrous root system. Fibrous root system. And the other root system in which a middle root is thicker than the other lateral roots, this is called as taproot system. Taproot system. So as now you got a clear understanding what are roots. Roots are the part of a plant which are present under the soil. Roots perform two functions, that is fixing a plant at a place and then absorption of water and minerals. And here roots are of two types, fibrous root system and taproot system. These are called as root systems. How many types of root systems are present? Two. What are those? Fibrous root system and taproot system. In fibrous root system, the size of the roots is similar. It is equal. All the roots are of same size and same shape. Whereas in taproot system, the middle root is thicker than the other roots. The roots which are present towards the sides are called as lateral roots. And now examples of these root systems. You see grass. If you see grass, the roots which are present will be the fibrous roots. Okay, and not only that, here you can observe for other plants as well. And here taproot system, the important or the easy I can say is the carrot. Have you ever seen a carrot? Carrot is actually a root. It is a modified root. If you see the carrot, if you have you ever peeled the carrot? The sides of the carrots will be having small hair-like structures. Those are lateral roots. So carrot is an example of taproot. And as well as coriander. Coriander also have taproot system. And here, as I said, first example is the grass. Grass have taproot system. And as well as all the grams, okay, red gram, green gram, and as well as the rice, jawar, maize, all those roots are fibrous roots. So the part of a plant which helps in absorption of water and minerals is called as root. So to know that, we have discussed an activity. Did you remember that activity? Yeah, now we are going to recall the same activity here. So the activity, as I said here, we are going to see the activity. The activity is absorption of water through roots. So what is the function of root? Absorption of water. So how can we know that absorption will take place or not? That can be known by doing an activity. As I said, whenever it is an activity, you have to follow the format. We have certain pattern which you have to follow to perform an activity. And same you have to write even. So what is the first aim? To know the absorption of water through roots. Okay. Then materials required. Materials required or apparatus. What are the materials required to perform this activity? You have to write here. So the materials required are 2 glass tumblers. Okay, 2 glass tumblers. am drawing here, it will be easy for you to understand. I think so, little my drawings are not coming exactly correct, but I think you can understand it, right? So these are the glass. How many glass tumblers we need? 2 glass tumblers. One is thick and one is narrow, I think. These are just for understanding. When you will be in the school, we will be performing this activity. And if this activity is very easy, you can also perform at your home. Okay. So the materials required. First are 2 glass tumblers, water. We have to fill the water in these tumblers, and plant. Okay, you have to take plant. 2 plants you have to take. So what? Let us take taproot systems, coriander. So the plant which we are choosing here is coriander, because coriander is easily available. We can find the roots of it, and that the color of the coriander stem and roots will be light in color, that you can find out the color difference. Why I am choosing this, why I am saying this, you will understand when we start doing the activity. So coriander we have selected, it is easily available along with roots. We need coriander plant along with roots. Coriander plant, then what we do, we need here, see first glass tumblers, coriander plant with roots. Without roots, if you are doing, then our activity is useless, because we have to find out the function of the root. So plant with roots, water, ink, red color ink you have to use. Red will be easily available and easily see, that's why red we are taking, visible, easily visible. So red color ink we are taking, and then rubber bands and all. So what you have to do, take 1 stick also, 2 sticks you have to take, because coriander plant cannot stand in the water. So that's why we can put the rubber bands to the stick, and we can make the coriander plants to stand here. So now take 2 plants. We are going to start this activity. Now we got the apparatus. This is the plain water. In this water we are going to add red ink. Red color ink we are going to add. So the color of water will become red. Here it is colorless, here it is red in color. Now take 1 coriander plant and put it here along with roots. Taproot, here it is taproot. So here is the plant. Students, I am drawing this rough diagram that you can understand. Actually, this is an activity, so we will be doing in the school. So now you have you have immersed 2 plants with roots in the 2 glass tumblers. These glass tumblers have water but different conditions. Here it is plain water, here it is a water which contains red ink. Now leave this glass for 7 to 8 hours. Leave this glass for 7 to 8 hours. This apparatus should not be touched, should not be disturbed for 7 to 8 hours. After 7 or 8 hours, you observe that the absorption of water will take place. How you can observe? Here also absorption of water will take place. In second tumbler also absorption of water will take place. But in second one we can easily identify by seeing the spots on the root. So if you remove the plant from there, we can observe so here red color, because we have immersed this in red color. So this complete root will change into red color. So you have to compare the 2 plants with roots. You'll observe the second plant will change into red color. By this activity, we can conclude that roots absorb water and minerals from the soil. So this is the activity which is very, very important. I have completed the roots. Now we are going to discuss about the other part of a plant, that is leaf. In singular it is leaf, in plurals those are leaves. So how here root have one function, in the same way leaves have their function. There is a difference in the size and shape and color of the leaves. Color very less, but the size and shape will be different. Some leaves are of this shape, some are of star shaped, some are very long like this. So different shapes of the leaves we can see, different size of the leaves we can see. But there are some important parts of the leaf. So I got some leaves. Let us see different types of leaves here. See, this is one leaf, okay, jamun tree leaf. This is guava tree leaf, and this is just a grass, okay, ornamental plant. Okay, so you can see difference in the leaves. All these are leaves only, but there is a difference in the leaves. But here the common I can say the important parts of the leaves. Now here it is very important to learn the parts of a leaf. So what are the parts of a leaf? Let us learn here. So see, this is the leaf. I will show you first here practically, then I will be drawing on the board and you can do that homework. So this is the leaf. Okay, so let us learn the parts of a leaf. If you see, the leaves is getting divided into two different parts. If I tear the leaf, it can be divided into two different parts. Let me show with this plant. Okay, here also see, I can divide the leaf, has been divided into two equal parts. So the line which is present in the center, which is dividing the leaf into two equal parts, is called as midrib. Midrib will divide the leaf into two equal halves. The middle vein, which is longer and broader than other one, that is called as midrib. Next one. After midrib, we can see here some lines are going here. These lines are called as veins. These are veins. These are veins. So every leaf will be having these veins. Where these veins are present in the chamber, that is called as lamina, leaf lamina. Leaf lamina. And this is the leaf base. Through this base only these leaves are attached to the branch. So it is leaf base. And then these are the edges of the leaf. Okay, but you can see here, this is called as petiole, or this is the leaf base. The entire last part is called as leaf base. This is called as petiole. These are the important parts of a leaf. Now I am going to draw the diagram of it and I am going to show the labeling of the leaf. I have drawn the outer structure of the leaf. So let us start labeling from here itself. This is the leaf base. Leaf base. After leaf base, above the leaf base, we can find a part that is called as petiole. And the vein which is present in the center and it is thicker than all other veins, it is called as midrib. Midrib can divide the leaf into two equal halves. After midrib, see, all this midrib and the veins are present in the chamber. This is called as leaf lamina. Leaf lamina carries midrib, veins and chlorophyll and other parts of the leaf. So here you can see these small things which you can see here are called as veins. These are the leaf edges. Leaf margins. Leaf margin. So if you see, this is the entire leaf. So what is now we understood the parts of the leaf? Leaf base, petiole, midrib, leaf lamina, veins and leaf margin and leaf edges. So leaf, what is the use of this leaf? Leaves will store the food prepared by the plant. You know, plants are called as autotrophs because plants can prepare their own food. That does not need to depend on any other organism. They can prepare their own food by using atmospheric air, sunlight, water, and a part. And the color of the leaves is green in color because of presence of a pigment called as chlorophyll. So if all these things are present, plants can prepare their own food, and plants will prepare their own food by the process of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis, the process in which plants prepare their own food by using materials like sunlight, water, air and chlorophyll. And the plants which can perform photosynthesis are called as autotrophs. So now that means plants' leaves perform photosynthesis because chlorophyll is present in the leaves. So leaves perform photosynthesis. That means leaves are also called as food factory of a plant. And not only that, after performing, they will store some food in their body itself. And this is how leaves will be present. And now these veins which we have discussed are the lines which we can see here are veins. So how there are root systems, in the same way there is a veins system. So now The types of venation. Okay, the arrangement of veins in the leaf lamina is called as venation. See, venation is of two types. Arrangement of veins in the leaf lamina is called as venation. Venation is of two types. You see these two pictures I have drawn here. In this picture you can see the veins are webbed like. Okay, they are not in parallel lines. They are stretched from top to bottom here and there. So this type of venation is called as reticulate venation. The venation in which the veins are present like web-like. They are like a web. This type of venation is called reticulate venation. And the other venation in which you can see veins are arranged parallelly. They are parallel to each other. So this type of venation is called as parallel venation. So two types of venation. First of all, what is venation and how many types of venations are there is a question. Then how you must answer? Side heading will be venation. The arrangement of veins in the leaf lamina is called as venation. Venation is of two types, reticulate venation and parallel venation. In reticulate venation, veins are arranged like a web, like a spider web. That is called as reticulate venation. Whereas in parallel venation, the veins are arranged parallel to each other. This is called as parallel venation. Examples of these are all the Gramineaceae family, means all the gram families like red gram, green gram, and as well as bajra, jowar, wheat, paddy, all those will be having parallel venation. Whereas even grass also have parallel venation. Whereas this type of venation can be seen in different types of plants like I can say spinach, okay, and fenugreek, etc. So there is a connection between the root system and the venation. If the root, so let me draw here and explain you. If the root system, I am drawing small here, so you concentrate here. If the root system is fibrous, then the venation will be parallel. If the root system is fibrous, then the venation will be parallel. And if the root system is taproot, then the venation will be reticulate. Okay, so this is how different types of leaves are present and the parts of the leaf and important functions of the leaves. Let us recall the important function of the leaf. The leaves perform photosynthesis and they store the food for a plant. So this, and not only that, roots will also perform respiration and transpiration. How we will be learning in the next video. Thank you students, read well, we are revising it, so listen it once again carefully and properly. Thank you.